Rev up your engines!
Well, Amazon CEO Andy Jassy says he thinks the sellers will pass increased tariff costs on to the consumers. And of course, they will if it comes to that. Because let's face the facts. People are selling things at smaller and smaller profit margins. Because let's say somebody imports something from China and it costs them $5, right? And he's selling it for $10 on Amazon, right? He's got to ship it from China, pay for all that stuff. If there is a 100% tariff on it, right, the $5 is now $10. He's not making any money to begin with. So, of course, you got to pass the cost on. These days, there's so much competition. Let's say somebody's importing something from China, and they're marking it up 100%, $5 to $10. Somebody else will sell it for $7.50. They're still making $2.50 a unit, right? But when those people get a tariff on top of it, they'd be losing money. Who's going to import stuff if they're losing money, right? Now, the Amazon CEO also said he's seen instances of shoppers buying pre-tariff stuff, the stuff that's already here, right? There's a lot of warehouses in the United States with a lot of crap in them, right? They sell that stuff. There's no tariff on that. It's already here. I got here and I forgot. I didn't have any shampoo here, right? So what did I do? I ordered it on Amazon. What did it do? It came 3 hours later. So that means it didn't come from the factory. Amazon's got warehouses all over the place. It came from their warehouse, which they have stored. So they've got a lot of stuff stored kind of as a buffer, right? They're making more profit, and then people get it faster, they're happier. So, of course, if these tariffs do stick along, who knows how long they're going to be there, what they're actually going to be, they will pass it on to us. That's the problem with tariffs. It raises the price. Back in the day, people did it to protect their own countries, like England. Hundreds of years ago, they had big tariffs on wine and different things coming in, right? In the case of the United States today, it's so complex, the way the world economies are all tied into each other, that it's not something that really is going to work as simple as you think, because everything made here costs a ton more. So all it makes us, we have to buy things that cost more money, right? And people aren't getting paid more. Anything, people's salaries are kind of stagnant, but the price of everything keeps going up. Well, you think the price of everything has gone up already. You put these tariffs on top of it, it's really going to go up, and people are going to start to get mad. Well, you never know what's going on in these tariff wars, but as it stands this moment, Trump dropped a bunch of these reciprocal tariffs, but not the car ones. He's keeping the car ones, right? Well, at least he is for now. Who knows what's going to happen in the next 15 seconds or whatever. But if you are curious, here are the cars that are actually made in the United States. That wouldn't have any tariff on them at all. There are some Acuras completely made in the United States. Acura Integra, MDX, RDX, TLX. BMW makes a bunch of cars here. They're X3, they're X4, they're X6, they're X7, they're XM. Buick makes the Enclave SUV here. A lot of the other ones are made in China. They won't tell you that, right? Cadillac makes a whole bunch of them here in the United States. Chevrolet makes some things here, some in Canada, some in the United States. Dodge only makes the Durango here in the United States. Lincoln makes a bunch of cars here. Ford has a bunch of ones that are made here and Mexico and Canada. And the list goes on and on and on. So how do you know? Well, use your head and use your phone. The VIN number of your car. The first letter tells you where the car was made. So, you do a little research, look at that VIN number, and you can see where the car is made. Some of it's logical and some of it isn't. If your VIN number starts with 1, 4, or 5, it's made in the U.S. So you look for 1, 4, and 5. If you're curious, if it's number 2, the first number, it's made in Canada. Number 3, it's made in Mexico. J is Japan. KR is South Korea. And L is China. Why L is China? Nobody knows. They come up with these weird things. But this is law. VIN numbers are a legal entity on your car. So just look at it. If it's 1, 4, or 5, it's made in the United States. Right? And if you want to push things made in America, go to the dealer, say, show me your cars that are made in America, and I'll think about which ones I might want to buy. And realize the VIN number will either be 1, 4, or 5. That means it's made in the United States. It's that simple. For once, something is simple, right? Well, you knew it was going to happen with all these insane car notes, right? Something like 17% of Americans now have a car note that's over $1,000 a month. Well, guess what? The wolves have come out. Now there are companies out there that are refinancing car loans. I saw an ad for one that they personalized for me by a company called Caribou, and it says you could save $130 a month on your car loan. Of course, then there's an asterisk, and there's all kinds of legalese stuff in it, right? You want to be real careful if you deal with one of these companies. Think of what your overall payment is, because you could save $130 a month on your car loan. Sure, all you got to do is say, well, you got a 3-year car loan, take out a 7-year car note. You're going to pay a lot less per month, but you're going to be paying for 7 years instead of 3, Read the fine print, because these guys are wolves out there. They're out there, they're going for your throat, right? Most car companies, if they've sold you a car with a certain note because of your credit rating, whatever it is, right, and you're at high risk and you got high interest, these guys aren't going to save you any money in the long run. Yeah, maybe you're going to get a note that's less per month, but instead of paying for 3 years, you're paying for 7, and you're actually paying probably 60% more in the long run for it, just to save a little on your monthly payments. Be very leery about these companies. Be very leery, because they've got so many sleazy deals going out there. You think your payment's too much? Oh, look, I can refinance it. Hey, read the fine print. See what's actually going. See what you're paying in the long run, and don't sign up for another loan that, look, the interest rate is less. Yeah, but it's going on for another 4 years. So read the fine print if you get any of these things. I don't know why they sent this ad to me. I don't finance anything. I don't know why they sent me this. Maybe because I'm a car guy. I'm always reading the car stuff and think, oh, he's into cars. Let's see if he wants this. Well, I'm exposing you people right now. I don't trust you. Well, there's another trade war casualty. Volvo says they're going to drop the Chinese-made S90s in the United States. They're not going to ship the Chinese-made S90s there. If you don't know it, Volvo is really a Chinese company now. The Chinese bought them quite a while ago. Kind of an interesting story. The Chinese wanted to buy Saab, the other Swedish car company, right? I guess the deal was all set and ready to go, but the Swedish guys that used that Saab crest, Griffin or whatever they used, right? They said, that's a family crest. You Chinese can't use it. You can buy the company, but you can't use the crest. So the Chinese said, pfft, and they bought Volvo instead. What they figured? One Swedish company versus another? Really, what's the difference, right? You got to understand one thing. Volvo sales of a lot of the stuff in the United States has been going down the toilet for quite some time. And here's the funny thing. Yes, I think Volvo's a pretty stupid company with some of their decisions. Here's a really stupid decision. They're building Volvo electric cars in the United States, and they say they're going to ramp up productions of the electric cars and sell more of them because they're made in the United States, right? The only problem is we Americans don't want electric Volvos. They can't give those things away. I'll give you a perfect example. Customer in Tennessee had the Volvo electric car, but he was smart. He didn't buy it. He leased it for 3 years. And then he says, I'm going to get rid of it after 3 years. But he leased it for 3 years. This was like starting at about $65,000 car when all was said and done. I found used electric Volvos. Each one was only 1 year old. One had 15,000 miles, one had 17, one had 25,000 miles. They were going for between $24,000 and $26,000. That's what they were asking. They're trying to sell them. Right? This is a $65,000 car, year old, hardly any miles on it, right? Americans don't want these electric Volvos. And they can ramp up all the production they want in the United States of these electric Volvos. But guess what? We Americans have already voted. We voted with our money and said, we don't want these electric Volvos. They don't even understand their own market. The soccer moms and all that stuff. They zoom, zoom. They want to drive around, take the kids here and there. They don't have to worry about, oh, gee, I got to plug this thing in now. What am I going to do? That isn't a Volvo mentality in the United States, right? So you can make all the electric Volvos you want, but you watch. Nobody's going to be buying them because in the past they didn't. And now with all the up in the air about electric cars and not putting charging stations in and stopping tax credits for $7,500, they'll make them even more expensive. Guess what? They're not going to sell more of them. If anything, they'll sell less of them. Well, if you wondered why some new cars don't come with oil dipsticks in them, and it's true, some of them don't, it's because the manufacturers are evil swines. They want your cars to fall apart. They don't want you to drive an old car. So they took the dipsticks out. Mercedes, BMW, some of them have done it. And then you can't check your oil. It's all done electronically, right? And the electronic part is supposed to be able to tell you when you're low on oil, yada, yada. Well, let me tell you, I'm a mechanic, baby, and I've seen these BMWs and Mercedes. Their oil warning systems don't work. I've seen engines blow up because they didn't have any oil in them because the sensor broke. I've also seen ones that said they were low on oil when they weren't. And if you added oil, then you will blow the seals on your engine and you put in too much oil. The sensor's broken and it keeps telling you it's low on oil. So you put in 5 quarts of oil. Well, then the piston rods will bend because there'll be so much oil, there's no room for the piston to go up. When it hits the oil, boom, bends the piston rod. So, really stupid idea. And of course, it's planned obsolescence. They don't want you to drive these cars when they're 8 or 10 years old. A brand new car, okay. You change the oil every 5,000 miles. It's new, doesn't burn oil. Probably not anything to worry about. But in the long run, you get a car that's older, leaks a little, maybe burns a little. You really want a dipstick to see how dirty it is, how low it is. But they're just doing it because then, oh yeah, well, that's an old car. It's 8 years old. Go buy another one. You don't want to drive this thing forever. What are you some kind of cheapskate? That's what these companies are trying to tell you. Just keep buying, just like your phone, right? Just keep buying a new phone every year or two. They'd love it if you bought a new car every year or two, right? Well, here's one that most of us don't give a flying donut about, and that is Jaguar Land Rover pauses shipments of new vehicles to America. Okay, so all you rich people now can't buy Jaguar and Land Rovers brand new yet, coming over because they're pausing their shipments. The most of us Americans say, who cares? The snobs won't have their snobmobiles because they're worried with the tariff and all that stuff, right? Now, go to the home front. Stellantis is saying anybody can get employee pricing. Because if they're going to have to raise the prices with the employee pricing, you would actually be paying less than what you would if you added a tariff on top. Ford is also saying that they're offering employee pricing to anybody. Ford's ad is you pay what we pay. So they're offering pricing. Now, you got to understand one thing in the car business. These manufacturers have a lot of wiggle room that they make on cars. So they always want you to the MSRP, manufacturer suggested retail price, right? Your suggestion is to pay as much as possible, right? It's kind of like you go to any store and it says, sale 50% off of what? A bloated asking price, When I was a kid, we had things called records. Some of the hipsters like them now. You put them on the turntable, little needle went on, played music, right? And they always said suggested retail of the albums was like $4.95, but it's only $1.99 for you. But everybody paid $1.99, so it's kind of a game that they're playing, try to get you in to buy the cars because everybody's worried that, the prices are going to go up. Of course, these guys are looking for any excuse to raise prices. We all know that, right? But the thing is, if there's all this up and down now, and if anybody you find, you're looking at cars and they're ripping you off, wait, don't buy one. As long as your car's still going, milk it a little bit longer. Don't be forced to buy something when the price is too high. For example, look at the idiots that bought Tesla Cybertrucks. Some of them were paying $150,000 for those crappers, right? Now, hey, they can't give them away. They got them all over the place. Nobody wants to buy them. They weren't built right. They just stupid looking. They get dirty so fast. People don't understand. You got a stainless steel thing driving down the road. It's going to get dirty fast. Look at the fridge in your house. It gets dirty, right? And it's sitting inside your house. Imagine if your fridge lived outside and drove down the road. Well, they kind of do look like fridges going down the road. So, you don't have to imagine anything. I saw one yesterday here in Rhode Island. Man, it was the dirtiest looking thing I ever saw because they had salt on the road. Salt got on it, and of course it stains it too. You don't have to buy. My advice is wait till the furor is over. Do not think, I got to do it now. No. Wait and see what happens. Because if there is a coming recession, the prices of everything is going to go down. Not just cars, everything. So maybe you think about buying a house. My advice is wait a while. Because I can see things starting to drop in the housing market everywhere I go. Doesn't matter if it's Tennessee, Rhode Island, things are starting to change a little bit. Slower in Rhode Island because there's so much money on the East Coast. Make your head spin. If you're in a nice area, the prices will probably go up forever until, the sun explodes in a billion years from now. The prices will be in Rhode Island, it'll be $85 trillion for your house in Rhode Island by then. But for cars, wait. My advice is wait. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.